Okay, so any declarations of peculiar interest? No. And then adoption of the previous minutes. Need a motion for that.
I will, June.
I'll second it.
Okay, business arising from the previous minutes. All refunds are done. Basically, we have money left in the account, which is basically what you saw. Is just our reserve of $9,000, and that will go forward to if we go ahead next year. We will have to redo another budget for next year, and that will be done in the I think we have to have that done by September, don't we, Casey?
Yeah, we will have to have it submitted by the end of September.
Okay, so we will have a meeting specifically for that at the end of August or beginning of September sometime. Okay, so the big question is, I'd like to hear everybody's opinion about going ahead next year. Personally, I'll start off, and I think we should. So what are everybody else's thoughts?
My view that we've talked about this before. My view that if we do not go ahead next year, then we might as well pack the thing in.
Yeah.
People will have lost interest by that time. People will have aged. Some will have really aged into existence. And so, restrictions are loosening slowly, unless there's another serious outbreak. I am guessing that the restrictions will diminish over the next year. So I would say let's plan for it and let's go ahead.
Okay. Ginny?
I definitely agree with what Ken's saying. Like, if we wait any longer, nobody's going to want to do it anymore. And when the like Tom told us at the last meeting that the city really didn't want us to do it this year, and so we don't want to lose the funding that we get from the city because it's essential to our operation. So yeah. I vote that we continue and plan to do it for next, I guess it's summer we do it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy?
I agree.
Okay.
I want to go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, I definitely agree. We should try to get it organized for next year. Maybe not go into so many other trips or, just have more time together in Stratford and see as much as we possibly can. That if you were having to arrange for buses and other things like that, that maybe it might just run into complications as far as your spacing and socializing. But I think, yes, if we don't go ahead now, we're not going to do anything more for sure.
Okay. Susan?
I'm thinking similar lines to what June has just said. If there should be another wave, we work within whatever guidelines are present at that time. And if it means that some people are uncomfortable traveling, that will be their personal decision. Also, if we need to cut back, I would consider things too where we're putting people in closed quarters more, including possibly running meals outside instead of inside, weather permitting. So definitely want to go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on board, and as far as the city of Stratford, it's also on board to help you all we can. So I think that's the right decision.
Okay, so somebody want to put a motion on the floor?
I'll make that motion that we proceed with the Stratfords of the World reunion next summer.
I second.
All in favor? Okay. That's good. And I agree with everybody else. I mean, there's no way I was going to do this if we didn't go ahead next year. Okay. So at this point, there's really nothing else we can do until we all get together. And I'm proposing that we get together and have a little meeting in the near future, not part of a formal meeting, but an informal meeting. And we can go ahead, make up all our decisions, and then we can bring it back to our next meeting to vote on it. Does that seem reasonable?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm proposing a planning meeting on May 31st at 10:30 a.m. And I'm prepared to hold it here as I have a big table now.
Now, what time was that again, Joan?
10:30 a.m.
Oh, 10:30.
I have a dentist appointment, my
Of
annual
course
dentist
you do,
appointment on
Ken.
that day, at that time, which I'll gladly postpone.
Okay,
I have a good excuse for not doing it.
I will let everybody know about that, and I can confirm that with everybody and those that are not here. And again, it won't be a mandatory meeting. Whoever shows up, shows up. But I think there's a lot of things we're going to need to discuss just to get things rolling again. I will contact the other Stratfords and tell them we're going ahead. And I know the first thing they're going to ask is, how much is it going to cost? So that is something everybody's got to think about, and we'll make a decision on that at our next meeting.
Can I ask what it costs before? Because I don't know that.
$325 per person.
So that provides them with all the events, some meals, accommodation. I mean, it's a steal.
It is very much so.
Couldn't visit any place else in the world for that much for a week.
No, I mean, they only have to buy 1 or 2 meals themselves. Usually we take our hosts out to dinner. You know, it's a very minimal cost over and above the $325. But I do think we're going to have to increase it. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe those of you that like, for example, Susan, you looked into trips and everything. Maybe you can give them a call, see if we can find out what things have increased by, how much more it's going to cost us. I should mention the trip to Niagara, which people were paying for themselves. Everybody did get a refund. They had to apply for it themselves. But I would imagine even that is going to cost more than what they paid for it. So
That would be one thing I'd opt to leave out, that if people wish to do their tour, they could do it before or after.
Before or after.
On their own time.
yeah. And again, once we get down to the nitty gritty and deciding what we're going ahead with and how we're going to do it, then we can see if we can fit it in. So, Ginny, you had a question?
Oh, no, I think you sort of covered it, because those of us that are new don't realize what all goes on. Like, obviously Kathy is feeling the same way.
Our previous talk.
I shared the itinerary with everybody, the new members, and that's basically everything that was included. And I'm assuming we're going to stick to a similar itinerary. Yes, Susan.
The other things that were included were theater tickets and theater tours.
And what?
Theater tickets, theater tours. were also
Backstage
included in
tours
that
and all
price.
that.
Are they giving tours of the theaters this year?
They are, they're doing backstage tour at the Tom Patterson, but not at the Festival Theatre. They're doing a backstage tour at the Avon Theatre. I know, because I'm helping out with those, because I'm a friend of the festival. they're not doing garden tours, which totally surprises me because everybody loved the garden tours. But who knows what'll be next year, you know? We'll just have to go with the flow on a lot of things until we've got absolute confirmation of what's going to go ahead. Hopefully we'll know the program for next year a little earlier than we did this year. I'm sure they're going to use this year as an example, and then I'm assuming they'll probably get back to their normal announcing the season, which was always in July or August, but who knows? Just flexibility is the name of the game right now.
Would the summer music still be going on at that time, or have you heard anything more about that?
Well, it is going on this year,
Is it?
so we have to assume it will go
It
on
would.
next year.
That would be an extra thing that we could do outdoors.
Absolutely.
And try to get maybe more of that in rather than everything inside or going on a bus or something, that just to try and keep them in Stratford here and outdoors as much as possible.
Yeah. Susan.
This year, summer music does not have fireworks listed, so that makes me think that they're not doing it. And that was coordinated into our program.
And as we go get later into this year, then we can make those inquiries and see what they're thinking. I mean, we're not going to confirm anything with any of the other Stratfords for the moment anyway. We'll just confirm that we're going ahead and we'll be in touch. That's all we can do at this point. So, okay, any more questions?
I
Jenny?
guess I'm just thinking at the rate things have gone up, that it's probably going to cost about 25% more than I forget what you said, 325 or whatever. I'm thinking it's going to be closer to 450 to 500. Because I mean, just look when you go to the grocery store, fill up your car. I mean,
if we charge that much, people are not coming.
They won't come for
they won't pay
$500.
that.
They
No,
won't pay
they won't,
$500.
honestly.
they might, because I mean, I'm sure it's all around the world. We're not the only ones
Oh, we're
complaining
not
about
the only one.
$2.09 for gas and you know, everything. I think people would expect. I don't think you would lose people, because everybody's cost of living has gone up so much.
So they're looking more for bargains. Susan.
Bus trips, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go up at least 50% or more. One trip I've recently booked onto has gone up about 30% if I hadn't done the early booking.
And again, this is what we've got to decide before there's any, shall I say, rumors go out there that we're going to charge people a lot of money. We've got to be absolutely sure what we're going to charge. So we've got to ask as many questions as we can before people start asking how much is it going to be. So, any more questions?
They're going to ask, what's the garden like?
Beautiful.
It's very nice, actually. I walked past the other day.
I just want to bring that subject up. That we have begun work on the garden.
Yeah, Susan's
Not for next year, for this year.
Susan's going to update us on that in a minute. Okay, so anything else on plans for the reunion? Okay, Susan, do you want to talk about the garden?
Okay, we actually went out and put the plants that had been overwintered. Some of the bulbs are still waiting to sprout. They're actually in the garden out there. Quinn's team had done all the edging around, but they hadn't done the supplementing yet. And the last day I walked by, it looks like the plants are adapting quite well. Quinn will provide the fill-in plants that we need this year instead of us growing our own, and we'll plant those. One other thing that we talked about was amendments and or possibly mulch. The response I got back from him, since it wasn't already done prior, maybe not. But then it dries out a large amount, so it's still kind of checking possibilities there, and I'd have to work with him on that one. And otherwise, yeah, we're just waiting for it to grow. Everybody's welcome to deadhead or pull weeds if they know for sure that's what they are. And
Don't pull them if you don't know what they are. Anybody
Joan,
got questions for Susan about the garden?
Oh, no.
You know,
Any more questions? Sorry, Ken?
if we had planted some trees in 2020, when we were supposed to first meet, they would be well grown by now.
Right. Joan,
Yes,
I was wondering if I think you sent out a letter to most of the other billeting people or members. Did you get much of a reaction from them as far as, are they still willing to billet, and are they still interested in being involved in it? Or did you find a lot of people had sort of said, well, just leave my name there, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything?
and that was the biggest response
Yeah.
I got.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I
Some
was
people
wondering
said definitely not if we'd gone ahead this year,
this year. Yeah.
but next year they might. So again, those are the kind of questions we'll have to decide, and we'll have to decide when we're going to ask these questions.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, our meetings get shorter.
Because we agree on things.
I know. I'm going to propose a date for our next meeting of June 23rd.
This would be a Zoom meeting then.
Well, we don't know. It, it could be in person. We'll wait for that one.
And where will it be? Oh, we won't know yet.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah,
Because we've got the one on May 31st at your house.
that's an informal meeting.
And you'll send
I
us
will
the
let you know
address.
about- What do you, Ginny, what did you want
Sorry,
to say?
for those of us that are new, like Kathy and I, we'll need the address because we don't know where you live.
Well, actually, Kathy does know where I live, but
No, Kathy.
I will
Kathy?
send you the information. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, so how does June 23rd suit? This will be our formal meeting, and Casey will let us know if we can meet in person, hopefully by then. Okay, so 23rd at 3 o'clock. Do we have any more business? Anybody have anything else they want to discuss? Okay, so
Oh, Joan, I do have a question.
okay,
I made up all those like neckerchiefs and things with the crest on for 2020. That, are we going to consider changing the date on them, or are we just gonna still use
no.
them where we've got the crest and everything and the 2020 on them? That's what I was just wondering. I can reverse them if we really wanted to, but that was what we're just still saying. This was supposed to be 2020.
I agree, because
yeah.
there are things we can't change, and that
No.
is the bags that we've already had up,
Mhm.
the umbrellas that we've had made up. We can't change them, and we're not
No.
going out and buying more. So,
No.
you know, it, in a way, it's kind of neat that everything will be 2020.
Yeah.
We can follow the
Okay.
example of the Olympics. They had, didn't they have the
exactly.
2021 Olympics in 2022?
Yeah.
So we'll just do that.
Back in time.
Back in time, yeah. Mhm.
it also
Okay, if
included the
there's nothing-
dedication of the plaque as well.
I'm sorry.
The dedication of the plaque was
Oh,
2020.
exactly.
Oh,
It's got the
Mhm.
date on it. We can't do that. So a motion to adjourn? Tom, Susan? Okay, so I'll send you all a notice about the 31st, and we'll see you then. Thank you very much.